What's going on, guys? How we doing out there? TGIF. Happy Friday to everyone. Welcome. We made it to yet another weekend. Congrats on that. So what's going on with you guys? What is happening? Pretty much more the same here. Shock of all shocks, I actually finished the animation for the fourth cutscene. Can you believe it? Actually got productive, at least a little bit. So yeah, done and done. Started to incorporate it into Unity, which I'll show you guys here in a minute. And yeah, it's working okay. I need to add some sound effects and that kind of stuff. I need music and, you know, a couple of things here and there, but, you know, fade in, fade out, blah, blah, blah. But at least the animation's done, plugged in, and seems to be working okay. But, so yeah, so that's it. Done with the animation. Hooray. So, at least for the time being. So now I'm back to finishing up. One of the things I still need to address is implementing the missions, right? Which, if I fire this up, let's go into our scenes. Yeah, I'll do it in a progress menu. How about that? Yeah, sure. I'll save that. Let's go back to 2D. There you go. Fire this up. I'll mute that for a second. Yeah, mission details. Yeah, which obviously are not implemented yet. But, so the idea of the missions is that if you complete certain tasks, then it unlocks the outfits that you get to customize the Tribble with. Doesn't change the gameplay. It's all cosmetic, but costs you nothing, right? It's just part of the game. So, yeah, it's one of those things, one of those old school concepts, right? Which means that when you buy the game, you actually own the whole thing, right? No DLC, no loot boxes, none of that kind of crap. You just get the game. But so anyways, that is on the to-do list. But what I'm going to do today is actually back up a little bit, and I had some comments from some of the people playing the game. Which, by the way, for those that don't know, head over to Steam if you have a Steam account, which is basically virtually everyone at this point. But yeah, you can head over to Steam and actually play Triple Troubles in its current form. Right? Totally free, under playtest. Cost you nothing, man. You get access to the full game in its current form right now. $0. There you go. I can't make it any cheaper than that. But yeah, I'm hoping you guys do it. I hope you guys cruise over there, give it a play, and offer feedback. And one gentleman was nice enough to do that. Actually gave me a really detailed breakdown on his thoughts and stuff, and it was very helpful. And one of the things that I needed to do and hadn't gotten around to, but excuse me. So, like, if we go to the boss levels, right, in the jungle. So the boss levels come up on every 4th round, right? So if you start in the underground, you go to the canyon, you go into, yeah, so here's the underground and the lava, canyon, jungle, and then ultimately spaceship. So each one of these has 4 levels in them, right? But the 4th one is more of a boss level, right? It's a timed mission kind of thing where the lava's rising. So in that sense, it's timed that you got to keep your butt moving. And one of the things I did when I was going along, one of the things that I found, at least in the jungle level, because there's so much crap going on here, right? You still got the little, you know, the porcupine vines, and you have the ape coming at you and all that kind of stuff. I just realized that it was getting too convoluted, and I would get myself turned around on where am I supposed to go, right? So I came with the idea of using the backdrop, the mid-ground background layer as sort of like a pathfinder for you, right, to guide you. So that'll help you on your way. And what I realized was that I needed to propagate that into the other ones, because that was one of the comments, was the fact that he was playing the underground and he was coming into the fact that he could beat the regular levels, the first 3 levels, in a couple of tries, which is good. That's the kind of, you know, longevity I'm hoping for in the game, right? So it takes him a few tries, but he said that when he got to the boss level, it actually took him like a dozen tries, right? And he goes, yeah, that was just kind of frustrating. So I can understand that. So what I'm going to do today is come in here and take this mid-ground level, right, and sort of create a guiding path to sort of show you, not the only way, right, but it's sort of like the simplest, or at least challenging way. How about that? The one that'll kick your butt the least. How about that? So, what I need to do is kind of clear out this stuff, right? And then the simplest way is just kind of come in here And this is all using Unity's 2D tile stuff. So I'm going to just delete all this crap. And unfortunately, I don't have a rule tile set up for this. And you know what? I don't know. Maybe I should. I don't know if I want to spend the time doing that now. I should have thought that through. So the rule tiles, the beauty of rule tiles is that you can set it up. Excuse me. So you can just select this one tile, and when you draw it, oops, wrong one. This guy? Yeah, there you go. So this is the beauty of rule tiles, is that once it's in a group, it has a set of rules, excuse me, that dictates how it draws the tiles, right? And it knows its neighbors, and it will adjust accordingly, right? And that's really nice, but it is a pain in the butt to actually set up. And I would probably spend the whole hour, well, I spend more than an hour trying to get the rule tile stuff set up. So I don't know if I want to do that, but, you know, you saw how fast I was in laying that out, right? But if I go underground tiles background, if I want to do it the traditional way, right, then what I have to do is basically kind of draw it in like this, right? So this would be the guiding path, right? That sort of gives you an idea of how you should be going, right? Kind of a little bit of hand holding, which is good, right? Helps guide you. I kind of draw this out, and then don't want to go too far up. So like that. So there's a good example of it. Now, here, the crud part now is the fact that I have to go in and manually like attach all these pieces like this, right? And so, and if I have to do that over the 12 levels, I'm not sure which one's faster, to set up a rule tile or to just kind of bang through this. I'm not sure. Let me just do one here. And I guess I'm also hemming and hawing because I haven't messed with rule tiles in a long time, so I'm not sure how long it'd actually take to set one up again. Yeah, because I ended up doing like a custom one to do the edges. Yeah, let me just, yeah, I think I may just like brute force it. I mean, it's pretty fast, you know, and there's only a set handful of tiles to mess with, so it's not as cumbersome as it could be. So if I just go like this, kind of bang through it. Let's see, and I don't really have, yeah, I don't really have a one thickness here. So for this area, I'm gonna have to add another one in there just to fix that up. And then let me do this. And what I did too, the reason it's semi-transparent is I put it on top, so it's like on top of everything else. So that way I can kind of see what is the main ground, the main level for that, and use that as a guide for laying this stuff out. There you go. So I just gotta make sure that I don't have anything that's like one thick. In my stupidity when I first laid this out, I decided to make it that it always had to be at least 2 tiles thick, which in hindsight was really foolish, but yeah, live and learn. It's my first game, my 7th game that I've made, but it's my first game that I was messing with tiles, right? Everything else has been 3D, so I did not necessarily know the best way to approach some things, and as a result, I did not choose wisely sometimes. But no big deal. Let's see, so come in here and kind of do that. So yeah, it's pretty peppy. And what I'll do here is I just kind of come across like that and then mix in randomly like that a couple of these tiles just to mix it up, like so. And I mean, there's not that much to choose from for this section, so it makes it go fast as well. I mean, the most I have in terms of selection is like these edge pieces. There's 3 of each, and then on the corners I can either choose that diagonal type edge or just the square shape. And you see, I'm just trying to make sure that it randomizes. There is a randomized feature that's offered, but to be honest, it's really terrible. I hate their tile randomization kind of thing. It just does not really work well, I think. you get all these groupings sometimes. It'll do the same one like 3 times in a row. It's kind of like, yeah, that just looks like crap. All right. Like that. And just kind of mixing it up. You see sometimes I use, well, you know what? Here, I'll do a elbow edge there. And so yeah, for boss levels I have a total of 12. So I gotta do this 12 times. So I mean, it may be even, right? I mean, this is taking a little longer, but the amount of time I would have to take to develop the rule tile, you know, only to just jettison it anyways. The only time it's bad is if I come back and I realize I want to tweak this, because then it's bad, because then I have to redo all this, which, come to think of it, I should have actually just done it with the solid and tested it to make sure that it was actually going to be good in place, but oh well. I can grab chunks of it and like adjust it and move it around. So hopefully if it's just something that needs a move, I can just do that and then just kind of fill in any kind of tweaks that I need to. Like that. Pretty simple stuff. Yep. And see, here we go. There's the example of why I need that to be 2 tiles in thickness. Later on I have like tiles that accommodate 1. Starting with the jungle. It can actually be 1 tile thick. Because that was when I started actually developing and I realized that I need more more wiggle room, more versatility. That's when I told my artist Daniel Thomas, that's been doing this fantastic art for me. I was kind of like, yeah, we need to go ahead and make more. But at that point, I was already, you know, so far down the rabbit hole with the underground and the canyon that I just decided not to backtrack and add more tiles to that to accommodate the 1 thickness. I just decided I would stick to my guns and do the 2 thick, the 2 tile thick approach. Excuse me. So yeah, you see, and what I might do is just drop in a little bit here, just there's not just dead space, but obviously this path is sort of telling you, and I have to leave this open, right? I can't connect this because I can't say for sure where the other one's going to match up, and then they would kind of have a weird overlap. So I have to leave this sort of open, which is why I don't have anything on the top row and nothing on this bottom row. Like so. Once I get this done, I'll hard code my stuff here for a second and check it out, see if it's gonna look okay. Alright, drop just a little something funky in here. Let's see. How about that? Yeah. Oh, you know what? Actually, I need to make that a bit thicker. You know what? I just want to make a hole. How about that? I'll make one in the center. Lucini, what up, buddy? How are things in your part of the world? I guess you're pretty much like on the border of already deep into the weekend, right? What's going on? What's happening? Actually, yeah, since you're here, if you want, I can, I won't believe it? Uh-oh. Okay. Fill me in. What will I not believe?
I fought demons and dragons and balrogs, and you're the one killing me.
Please do tell.
Shane, I'm serious now. Don't make me...
Yeah, I need that one to be open. You were gifted ZBrush. What? How did you get gifted ZBrush? What guardian angel are you toting around, man? You what? Seriously? My wife is so jealous. She actually bought hers. Congratulations, man. That's a fantastic gift. That's amazing. Have you started playing with it, or have you used it before? Let's just do some fun here. Whoops, wrong one. Yeah. Another streamer I watch daily uses it, and I was talking about it, and he was like, "Oh, that reminds me, I can give you a code." Had his own company. Wow. That is the most generous man I've ever heard of. That's incredible, man. Congratulations. It's amazing. Alright, let me doll this up with a couple of these guys. Just kind of sprinkle it in where I can. Oh, okay, yeah, let me see. Please do share. And you go first, and then I'll share what I got going on here. Alright, I think that's good. So let's go ahead and crank that like so, and then let's put it back in the background where it belongs. Like so. Hit S, and let's do some hard code here.
My name is Wally, I'm a wizard.
That's, what is that, the ZBrush character? That's funny, that's great, man. For just getting started, that's absolutely fantastic. I mean, I know how archaic the controls are for ZBrush, right? My wife has screamed about it numerous times. It's gonna be a skull in the style of Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead. Okay, so it's like yeah, they are, aren't they? Yeah, so it's like what was his name? Manny Calvera from the old LucasArts game. Yeah, Grim Fandango. There we go. Although he's a bad example because he's actually much more stylized. But yeah, there's a couple in there that have more like that traditional skull head look. That's awesome, man. Congratulations. Yeah, my wife is really... She had to watch a bunch of tutorials to try and wrap her head around it. But but yeah, she's getting up to speed, and she loves. I've been trying to get her to use ZBrush for years, because I mean, she's a physical painter, and she does tons of stuff. I mean, her day job is painting for casino games, slot machines, and and Photoshop and Illustrator and that kind of stuff. And she's also done some physical sculpting. I just told her, for a couple of years I've been trying to get her to finally try ZBrush, and now that she's doing it, and she's doing partly for like work related, so she can have more tools in her arsenal. But yeah, now she's hooked. She's really enjoying it as well. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, I love Udemy. I'm a big fan of Udemy. There's a ton of good stuff in there. Just as long as you choose wisely, right? Because there's a wide range. I mean, you have some people that are fantastic. Well, like any traditional thing, you have some that are fantastic teachers, and you have some that are not so much. But yeah, if you find yourself a good course, then it's really super helpful. All right. So, yeah, I mentioned, but I didn't play it yet. I mentioned the fact that I actually finished the animation for the fourth and final cutscene. That's why I'm doing level design, because I'm done doing animation for the time being. But I will show you what it looks like now that I've plugged it into the scene here. Some courses are just bad. You can have a refund. Oh, that's good. Well, and usually the feedback isn't enough to sort of tip you off, right? Alright, so I'll mute my background music here for a second. Well, you know what? Actually, it's just music. I'll let that go. But here you go. So this is still a work in progress in the sense that it's missing all the sound effects. It's missing the fade up, fade down, that kind of stuff. But, yeah. Well, I'll just shut up and play it. Here you go. This is the fourth and final cutscene, so anyone that wants to play the game and doesn't want spoilers, don't watch, because this is sort of like the end of the game. So, you've been warned. Spoilers! Spoilers across the screen.
Sir, the self-destruct was deactivated.
Well done, number one.
It wasn't me, sir.
Ah, okay. So it must have been the Tribble then. Well, in that case, we better set a course back to the ship before it figures out how to engage warp.
Well played, sir. Well played.
There you go. And then fade to black. There it is. The big finale. So there you go. Animation's done, kicked out, plugged into Unity, and behaving pretty nicely. So pretty happy with that. That's a big thing off of my list, is doing all that animation with the cutscenes. But a fun experiment to try and, you know, wrap my head around doing animation in the 2D world, since I am all 3D. Well played, sir. Well played. Nice. Nice. I love that. Good find. That's great. I love that phrase. Use it too much, but I just thought that was the best way to end it for her, like her sarcastic tone. The fact that she just goes right back to her screen, right? So it's not like, oh my god, we're doomed. It's just sort of like, you get the sense they'll get picked up eventually, you know. But just for right now, she's just like, yeah, I'm going back. I'm surfing. I mean, which is so true these day and age, right? I mean, you know, people get buried in their phones and tablets. Yeah, so, not that far of an exaggeration. Alright, so let's get this going. Game controller. Let's do some hard code. Yeah. Alright. So, active world, this would be 4-4. This is the boss level. We do want to shuffle. Leave it in casual. And health, I won't care about that. Oh, excuse me. That would take too much. Alright. Sorry, that was bad. This guy first. Save. Have you used ZBrush before? I have not. I have the Poor Man ZBrush, which is a 3D coat, which, to be honest, I've only pretty much used it for busting out UV maps, which I love doing. Using Maya, right? I'd use Maya LT. I am all about LT, absolutely. Yeah, exactly. But did you use LT before or something? No, I've used Maya proper for years, right? I mean, that's because when you work in visual effects houses, they're all using Maya. Well, the day job, the night job, I guess, the freelance job that I'm still working on, right? Which I keep alluding to, and I swear I will share one. You know, so for that, so at night when I do the freelance job, I'm working in Maya, remotely, by the way, too. They have this little box which connects to their machine 250 miles away, right? And I work on Maya through their machine. But so yeah, I've been using Maya for umpteen years. At home though, LT. And to answer your question, is very simple. Price, right? Maya LT, for all intents and purposes, is Maya just without the ability to render, right? Because it's designed as a game tool. And that's fine, because there's nothing stopping you from exporting FBXs of whatever your content is and dropping it into another, 3D tool like, or in my case, Lightwave or Blender, right? So you can animate your brains out if you prefer to animate in Maya, bring it over into Blender and render it there if you need to, right? I mean, there are some limitations on poly count, but to be honest, what other tools that are missing? Not a ton. The tools are pretty robust. Some of the limitations they have are in terms of the rigs, right, and the controls. There's certain things that if you take a Maya scene, so the way it works is you can take a Maya scene and load it into Maya LT, but you cannot take a Maya LT scene and load it into Maya, right? Otherwise, everybody would just basically use Maya LT. They'd have 20 Maya LT licenses and one Maya for render, right? So they limit the directions, right? But there are times where if you load a Maya scene into my LT, it'll throw up lots of error messages saying that, yeah, I can't process this node, and you'll find the rig doesn't behave. So some of the more fancy rig controls, any of the plugins, right? Any of the high-ends, Animbot and things like that, are plugins that will never run on Maya LT, right? And that's the trade-off, I guess. But, I mean, still, the price difference is, as you said, I think full Maya is like, what, $280 a month or something crazy? And then Maya LT, if you buy it annually, is around $20 a month, right? So to me, it's a fraction of the price. I don't know. I don't know if Blender will ever actually fully catch on to that extent. It's strange that, I mean, visual effects houses are apprehensive about taking it on. I guess because it is an open source piece of software, and I guess they feel like that sort of reflects badly on them, that they're using free software and then they're turning around and charging, hundreds of dollars an hour for an artist's time to the client, and the client's kind of going, wait, why am I paying, a couple $100 for an artist hour when you're using free software, right? Is in and of itself already on par, but just not as recognized. I mean, on par with Maya, maybe? ZBrush, no, absolutely not. I don't think that's a fair comparison at all. I think it has some fantastic tools, but it's nowhere near. I think it's on par with maybe like a 3D Coat, right? As I was referencing before, but no, definitely not, in my opinion. But Maya, maybe. I mean, to be honest, I can't speak from my own personal experience because I have not played with Blender in a very, very long time. I grabbed a couple of tutorials, so it's one of those things, if I ever found time. Yeah, if I ever find time, then I will definitely delve into the world of Blender. Because, as I said, I would love to not have to pay, a few $100s a year to use Maya if I could produce the same quality of animation in Blender, and pay nothing for it. Not on par with ZBrush, not in sculpting, but Blender does way more than sculpt. Well, that's totally true, right? So in that narrow confinement, yeah. But absolutely. I mean, there was a time where Blender was even a game engine, right? I think they've dropped that now. I don't think that exists anymore. But yeah, it's an impressive piece of software, absolutely. And the fact that it's open source and has grown to the level it has, to me, is just really impressive. I mean, hats off to those guys for making a crazy piece of software. And I love to see it, I love to see that they're doing well. But I don't know if visual effects houses will ever do it. I don't know if it's just because of the stigma of using open source software, or the fear that it will never be as robust. Yeah, I don't know. That is a question that can only be answered by someone way above my pay grade, as they say. Alright, see if I got this fixed right here. Don't know if I did this right or not. Let's see if it... Yeah, we don't need music right now. Yeah, we broke the crap out of that. Okay, so I did not configure this correctly. Group. Oh, it's not 4-1, it's 1-1. That's why. That was my stupid mistake. Really? Let's try that again. For what I've heard, people use Maya, Substance, ZBrush, and Marmoset or something. All of it for the workflow in creating 3D stuff. And that's true. I mean, everyone has their own weapon of choice, for sure. Whereas as Blender, they do it all in one. Missing an E, but I got that. And in the key areas, it's not as good as ZBrush Substance, but overall you can do it in one. And that's true. I mean, I think a comparison is the fact that I have this program. If it'll fire up. Build one. There you go. I don't know if I've ever talked about this before. I probably have, but so this is my editing tool called HitFilm, right? And this is not me promoting it, by the way, because I still have issues with it. I mean, I'll praise it and I'll damn it at the same time. But so HitFilm, the novelty of HitFilm is the fact that we'll see as soon as I start talking trash about it. So the benefits of it is that it takes like Adobe Premiere, right, or Vegas or whatever your NLE weapon of choice is, right? It takes that. Why do I care about that? Xbox Live sent a message. That's weird. So it takes Premiere, right, and kind of combines it with the compositing skills of After Effects, right? So the beauty of it is the fact that so if I bring in like cutscenes, just an example, the beauty of that is the fact that traditionally, if you want to do NLE, you load all your stuff up in Premiere. But then if you want to make like compositing changes, then you got to go back out to the other program, make the change, save it, export it back out, and incorporate it into Photoshop. And I mean Premiere, sorry. But the beauty here is the fact that I got one altogether, right? This looks basically like Premiere, but this is also more like After Effects, right? So you have your main editing line, right, where you could just take all your compositions, your comps, and drop it in here, right, for A/B editing like Premiere. But then you can also do your After Effects stuff here. And this is just my previous stuff, right? This is my blocking version of the cutscene, so it's nothing fancy here, but it was great for me in terms of getting the audio and stuff laid in, right? So, and getting all that put together. So, and the whole point is the fact that, I'll close it. The whole point is the fact that when I got it, it was like $150, right? And it was doing the work of programs that were a hell of a lot more expensive back when you could actually buy Premiere and After Effects. Now you can only rent it, right? So, and at this point, I think HitFilm is now up to like $300 or so like that, right? So that's the good news. You know, the bad news is it's very limited in a lot of ways. It misbehaves. It is frustrating. I swear at it a lot. Renting software fun. You know, and when it first started happening, I was really frustrated with the idea. But, you know, I think there's a compelling argument to be made. Whoa! Oh, that's right. That's fine. In the sense that, yeah. All right. So here's my little guide path now. So hopefully this will make life easier. Oh, you know what? That doesn't work. Having that guy over there is just confusing it, mudding it up. Good. I'm glad I tried that. So the counter argument with having to rent software is the fact that if you have to like upgrade your software every year, right, for bug fixes and for new features, the argument could be made that you're going to pay more in annual upgrades than you would from just the rental, right? So the leasing. Now, the counter argument to that, of course, is the fact that, like, I'm still using, here you go. I'm still using, what is this, about Photoshop. I'm still using Photoshop CS6, right? You know, I was fortunate enough to buy it right before they changed gears and went to subscription service, right? I'm so proud of myself for having the random luck of buying this software. So I have not upgraded, obviously, in umpteen years because this does everything I need, right, within limits. So for those people, right, I understand the frustration. It's like, look, I just want to buy the software and I don't care about the new features. I will just use this like it is and I want to stop paying for it from that point. But, you know, I think there's a good argument on both sides. I played some more a few days ago. The jungle level having the Yeti disrupts the previous flow of rushing. It does, doesn't it? Yeah, there's definitely a more slowdown, and it's the game kind of gradually transitions from just pure, you know, balls out, like going as fast as you can, to thinking it through. And in the spaceship levels, it will even progress more so, right? Where it becomes, you know, like this one is a little bit of a puzzle element to it, right? When the you call me Yeti, the one-eyed ape guy, when he's chasing you around, excuse me, there's a little bit of strategy of like, how do I get around him, right? Not get caught. But once you make it in the spaceship, you'll find that it's even more so, right? That it becomes more puzzle-based. And I hope people warm up to it. I hope they don't feel like it's a bait and switch, that it goes from pure arcade into arcade puzzle. Yep. Well, that's cool, man. That's great. You've progressed all the way up to the point of the jungle. That you're making a lot of good headway there. So that's cool. Congrats on that. But yeah, and you know, hopefully that's something that doesn't upset people. That it's not, and part of it was out of necessity too. I mean, because the Glommer, and the sandworms, right? They literally have fixed paths, just back and forth, right? But with the ape, it's not like I could just have the ape kind of going back and forth too. I wanted to sort of incrementally challenge you more so with each new enemy, right? To have new abilities. So now the ape can climb and chase after you, right? And in doing so, that just meant that I had to open up the level more, right? So it was less about just burning through the path and more about trying to duck and weave. It's just I don't have my controller plugged in all the time, and I'm rarely in Steam at the moment, so I always forget about playing it. Well, you always got keyboard too, by the way. You know, you always got left and right, mouse, arrow keys, spacebar. What it's like on mobile. It actually plays pretty well. It was originally crafted for mobile, right? Nah, controller only. Controller, it don't work. But yeah, it's so anywhere on the left half of the screen, anywhere you touch, that's the joystick's origin point. So it's left and right. So you don't have to worry about like making sure your thumb keeps returning to the joystick. The joystick follows you. And then the right half of the screen will be just jump, right? And then they'll have like the power up buttons if you have those. So those are the only ones that'll be like hard coded, right? But it's surprisingly intuitive, right? Because it's one of those things, if you jump and you just kind of like you let go and you like slide the thumb over, right? It becomes pretty intuitive, I think. And that was when I was showing the game off at a convention a while back. That was like somebody's first question. It's like, yeah, but how does this play on mobile? And it's like, I pull my phone out. It's like, here, you tell me, right? And he played. It's kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, this is actually pretty responsive, you know? Yeah, this sucks less than I thought it would. That's one of my lines. So yeah, you know, I think, and I will actually offer, if possible, I will do controller support, right? Because now Apple has finally accepted the fact that, oh yeah, maybe we should let, you know, other joysticks in on the game. So now they support most Bluetooth joysticks that are MiFi or whatever the term is for them. So I'm gonna definitely have joystick support as an option for mobile as well. That is the goal. Coming up at some point. Alright. So I want to have something here, but I want to have this something that's like not too distracting. Because when I was playing it a second ago, my eye was drawn to it like, oh wait, is that part of the path? So let's try that. Alright, let's see what this looks like. Yeah, that's more subtle. So the gist here, like I said, the whole point is to have this background path here, right? This background path to sort of like offer a subtle guide path to let you know which way you should, or, you know, you can go. This is not the only way, because like here, if you play it right, boom, there, that's like a little shortcut, right? So if you're a really good player, or you've played the game too much, you can see how you can buzz through that a lot faster, right? Like that. Boom. So you see how, boom, boom, you can just burn right through that. So in this case, I'm sort of like disregarding the path, but if you're stuck, oh, why do I have a piece there? That's interesting. Did I just totally screw that up? Did I leave a piece behind? Oh, it is, it's right there. I see it. Here you go. That guy. Let me clean him up. So that is the purpose of this, is to sort of like offer a guiding hand. But alright, I'm gonna mark that one done. I think that one's pretty cool now that I cleaned it up. Alright, so let's go on to the next one. Let's turn on the lighting so it looks bright. Alright, first things first, let's go ahead and get the background and put it up in the front so it's right in our face, like so. You know what, let me undo that. Let me figure out where the hell I'm supposed to go on this one. So we come in here, and then we go like this, right? Okay. Let me do it this way. Let me just erase, erase, erase. Let's get rid of all this fine work that I did before. Like so. There we go, and we're good. Okay. So let's start here. And like this. Kind of rough it in. Like that. Oops, not too high. So yeah, at this point, before I wanted to do something too subtle, right? And it just didn't register. So now I'm just going to be more blatant with it, right? This is going to pretty much telegraph everything. Holy crap! I just got raided by a party of 98. Oh my god! Wow, that's a record. Welcome everyone. Hello. Hey, thanks for joining me. What's up, guys? Thank you so much for the raid. Oh my god. What's up, Jai? Hey, what's up, folks? So, all right, let me give you a little rundown real quick. So, hey, thank you for the follow. I missed the other one too. Thank you for the follow. So, at the top right, you'll see that I'm making a video game called Tribble Troubles, which I forgot to have it prepped. For those of you that know anything about Star Trek, Tribbles actually come from the classic television show Star Trek, right? Creative Steve, thank you so much, right? So so here's the thing. I actually have a license to make a video game based off of Tribbles from Star Trek. So Tribbles, in case you don't know, are these cute little furry guys, right? That appeared in the classic episode The Trouble with Tribbles from the original TV series. So the way this happened is the fact that I actually have a partnership. Jenna Moon, thank you so much, guys. Thanks for the follows. I appreciate that so much. So so I have a partnership with David Gerald, who actually wrote the original screenplay, right, for The Trouble with Tribbles, and his company, which is called Tribble Toys. So that is how I'm able to actually make a video game based on Tribbles and not having CBS screaming at me, because that's, you know, the beauty of it is that Tribble Toys is actually handling the conversation with CBS, and I just get to make the game. So what I have is I have Tribbles, and I also have Glommers, because David Gerald also wrote a obscure, oh, there you go, play catch with my doggy, that's Penny. So there was a animated Star Trek show, right? And the Klingons, if you know anything about Tribbles, Klingons and Tribbles are arch enemies, right? It's playable on Steam right now. Oh yeah, Lucini, thank you for the blatant plug there. Yes, I actually have a version of the game available right now on Steam. You can play for free on playtest. So yeah, please feel free to give it a try. Still in development, but we're getting there. So, as I was saying, Klingons actually genetically engineered these creatures called Glommers, right, to do one thing, and that is to eat Tribbles. So, and the other thing too is Tribbles eat grain like crazy, specifically Quadricerticale. If you've ever seen the episode, that is the grain that used to be up in there, but now it's just the Tribbles. So that's the extent of my license. I have Tribbles, I have Glommers, and I have the Quadricerticale, right? Those are the three things that are basically I'm allowed to use in my license here. So unfortunately, no Kirk, no Enterprise, that kind of stuff. So the rest of it I had to sort of like invent out of whole cloth. But working on some tweaks here, but I tell you what, if you guys want to see, should I start the game up and you just get a sense of another follow? Tuma Place, thank you so much for the follow. Guys, you're fantastic. Thank you so much for these. Alright, I'll give you guys a quick introduction to the game. How about that? And another one. Shane, thank you so much. You guys are too kind. I appreciate all this. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Let me just clean up some hardcode stuff that I dropped in here, and that should be good enough. There you go. All right, so tell you what, I'll start the game from the beginning. You guys can check out the context here. So instead of me telling you about it, let me just show you. So the game will be coming out as it says up there. So I'm going to be releasing basically for Steam, Xbox. I got Nintendo's blessing for Switch, as well as for mobile as well. And it'll be a smaller scales game, so it won't actually be that expensive. It'll be on the... I don't have a total set price in stone, but it's probably going to be about $6. So it's going to be it's a smaller scale game, but it's smaller scale price to go with it. All right, so here we go. Scenes, real quick. Let's go... you know what? Let's start just with the... We'll start with the company logos. How about that? We'll just save that for the time being. I'll mute that. There you go. So here's a quick introduction to the game. But yeah, thank you guys for coming and visiting me. Creative Steve, thank you so much. So, Creative Steve, developer yourself?
Space. The final frontier.
All right.
These are the voyages of the starship. Is that a Tribble? On my ship!
There you go. So Tribble's a cute little slippery creatures, but they have a terrible tendency of eating all your food, so they get to be more of a pest than a pet. So. Oh, you got back into learning code again. Super nice polish. Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate that. Been working on it for 2 years now. So it's yeah, and I have some fantastic artists. So oh, by the way, I'm the coder as well as the animator. I've actually been making games for 10 years in Unity. This is my 7th game, but I've been doing animation professionally for 20 years. So the animation stuff is the easier stuff. The coding I do only on necessity. Looks smooth. Thank you so much. All right, here you go. So we'll restart. So
Captain's log, 5392.3. We're concluding our survey of the planet Cortu, a vibrant planet that will soon be completely consumed by its own volcanic core. We'll be departing after we finish retrieving our survey equipment from the planet's surface. Number 1?
Yes, Captain?
What was that?
It looks like a tribble, sir.
What's it doing on my ship?
Looks like it's feasting on our quadrotriticale.
Ah! Engineering!
Aye, sir.
Scanner show a tribble on my ship?
Aye, sir.
Great. Lock onto that fur ball and beam it into the center of that planet!
But, sir...
Now! No!
I believe engineering was trying to mention that it couldn't get a lock on just the tribble. But I'm guessing that you figured that out. Well played, sir. Well played.
So there you go. That kind of introduce you to the tribble, kind of sets you up for the gist of it, and kind of gives... Thanks, Shane. Appreciate that. So here's the map that basically shows how you start... Lucia, well played, sir. So yeah, you start off in the ship, and you're beamed down into the center of the planet, and I have this beautiful map that was painted by a very talented artist that I've been using for over a decade, named Daniel Thomas, who just does insanely great work. But here you go, enough talk. Here is what the game looks like. So you start down here. I will skip the tutorial since I know how to play this game. So you have wall hangs, right? And you can let go and re-grab. And you can jump and double jump. So, and as you saw in the video, the cans of the food got beamed down with you, right? So that's the explanation why the food is kind of sitting there. So, oh, actually, the food's not hanging. I gotta fix that one. That's a glitch. So if you collect 5 of the cans, you get a health back. And if you have all your health, then you get some bonus gems. And the gems you use in between rounds to either replenish health or to score some power-ups, like shields and a sonic attack. And there's the Glommers. If you remember the picture I showed you earlier, the Glommers come out of the animated Star Trek show. Genetically engineered by the Klingons. Oh, and sometimes when you clear an area of the enemies and you collect all the stuff, you get a portal that shows up. Takes you to bonus room. That allows you to stock up on some gems real quick, but you cannot sit around long because the lava will rise on you, as you see there. So you need to get the stuff and then you get it. Like so. Alright, I'll just play through this one level to give you a sense of the general length of things. The sounds are just so good. Thanks. Oh, so that's an interesting side note, by the way. So if you know Star Trek, I'll wait for a purr here. If you know Star Trek, there. So that's a classic tribble purr, right? So if you know anything about it, that's exactly what it sounds like. And if you also tribble taking damage, right? You hear that screech? So here's the funny thing, was the fact that I told you about my limited license. And part of that was also, I was not allowed to use the actual original sound effects from the show, right? That was like CBS's, so I couldn't use that. The license didn't extend to that. So I had to reverse engineer how they made the sound and come up with my own versions. So thankfully, Star Trek fans have not called me out on that. And they said, yeah, no, I thought that was the real thing. So I got lucky. Thanks to the internet, I was able to find enough info and figure out how they did originally and sort of duplicate it enough that it sounds like the real thing, but it's more of a tribute than an actual lift. There you go. And there's 2 different play modes. This is the more casual gameplay mode. In the arcade one, didn't know that? Yep, that's true. So this is the more casual mode, and then there's also a more challenging arcade mode where there's a lot more stuff that comes at you. There's lava flows and stuff like that. Oops, there you go. I just took some damage right at the end of the level. And if I bounce out, and then we come back to the main menu, at this point you can spin gems so I can replenish that health, and I can also buy some shields and sonic attacks. At this point I'm out of gems. So shields will protect you from anything for about 10 seconds. Sonic attacks you can use to shoot enemies and knock them out, so you don't have to worry about engaging them. And that is it for the power-ups. And then mission details, which I don't actually have implemented yet. And I need to have, I'm going to make an addition here that allows you to go back to the main menu. I don't have it yet, so right now it's like a restart issue. But there you go. Keep Penny happy. Oh, missed that one. Alright, so customize. So one of the cool things is you'll be able to show them the jungle level. Okay. So you'll be able to choose these outfits, right? And just, you know, aesthetic changes doesn't actually change the gameplay. But the missions that you play, there'll be like certain tasks, and if you perform the task, then you unlock that outfit, and then you can use it. So, you got 20 different outfits. That's great, thanks. And of course, an explorer. You know, that's it. That's all it is. It's an explorer, right? Don't confuse it with anything else. But when we have like the mad scientist, right? He's not a doctor. He's just a mad scientist, right? All right, so. Lucchini wants me to show you the jungle. So I'll do a quick stint. I have to hard code that so I can jump over there real quick. We'll start it. Second world, first level. Shuffle and keep it in casual. No, it's not. Please don't sue me. I don't want Disney to sue me. So, no, it's just a random explorer. That's it. All right, let's see. So you saw the underground, right? And then, hey, Unkillable Jazz did a follow as well. Thank you so much. Unkillable Jazz, thanks so much for the follow there. So yeah, you start in the underground, right? And then if you progress through 4 worlds, what you saw, basically what I played is for basically 1/16 of the game, right? But that's a bit of a misnomer because the underground levels start off easier, right? As you get to these different environments, it gets more challenging. So he wants me to jump to the jungle. No, I didn't change anything. So let me actually set that to the right thing. So you start off in the underground, you move into a canyon where you face off against these sandworms that kind of lumber back and forth. And for those guys, you can only kind of land on them when they're turning around. Excuse me. So then after that, you make it into a jungle. So you're just progressing upwards through that world, right? And at this point, you face off against these pesky one-eyed apes, or as what Lucchini called yetis. He thinks they look like one-eyed yetis. So here we go. So in this environment, things start getting a little more challenging. The world is more open-spaced. So you have this ape, and you have to sort of coerce the ape into helping you. And what I'm saying is that you have these vines, right? You see the spiky vines. They'll do damage, but they're blocking the exit. So you get the ape, or the yeti, depending on your point of view, to kind of take them out for you. I'd rather face a one-eyed yeti than one-eyed snakes. Yeah, you give me both, man. At least this guy you can run away from. And then once you've done that, you can sit there and land on him when he's trapped, right? So for a brief moment, you can actually land on his head and he'll get eaten, right? So it's a nice way to, and of course I did it too early because I could have tricked him into coming over there and gotten some more cans of food, but oops, yeah, which I'll need because I'm screwing up. But I'll show you the attack. So here, there. So you can knock him out, and it doesn't kill him. So if you shoot a globber, or if you shoot a sandworm, it'll actually kill him. But for the ape, I do that because you need the ape to get to the level. So if you kill him too early, then you're kind of screwed. So it just sort of like knocks him out, right? And it's also a difficulty progression, right? You know, so each world is getting more and more challenging. Let me come around this way. I'll take out one more. Let's finish it off here. Like that. And you gotta be careful because, yeah, it'll do damage to you as well. So you have to be careful where you're jumping there. Ah, I missed it. So, there you go. That is the jungle. That is the third of 4 environments. And then the idea is that if you manage to make it to the top of the jungle, you get inadvertently beamed back onto the ship that you started on. So you can imagine you have a crew there. If you remember that first cutscene, you know, you now have a crew there is kind of scratching their head going, wait, how's the triple back, right? So now you're on the ship and you're trying to avoid them, you know, from getting caught. So that is the general idea of the game. Gameplay-wise, even when you're like skilled at playing it, it's still going to be about an hour and a half worth of pure gameplay to get all the way through. But at least in the beginning, hopefully it'll be much longer than that. You know, just some trial and error and just learning how to play the game. And as I mentioned, there's a casual mode, there's an arcade mode, and I actually will have, if I come back to the main menu, don't save. Come back in here, you'll actually see, let me mute the audio, don't need him now. Play. So there's casual, arcade, and I have a dedicated speed run, right? So currently, the way the levels layout works is it randomizes. So every time you play the game, it'll mix the levels up for you, right? So it keeps it kind of fresh. And that's true of both the casual and the arcade mode. But in speedrun, what I'll do is I'll actually fix it, right? So the levels will always be the same every time you play it. So that means you're playing on a level playing field. And my hope is that the hardcore gamers will jump into this one and just burn through it and figure out the best runs and do speed runs and hopefully put videos of it out there and challenge other people to try and beat their scores. That is the goal. So hopefully by putting a dedicated version, right? Because that was always one of my thoughts about games that do have speed runs is like if it's, you know, if it's a roguelike or something like that, how do you have a level playing field, right? If the game changes every time you play it, sometimes you get an easier play mode or sometimes you get harder. But at least with a fixed one, hopefully that means that everyone will get the same kind of challenge. So there you go. At this point, what I'm doing now is when you guys came and said hello to me, which, by the way, I really appreciate, I was making some updates. I had some feedback from some of the players there. Doesn't care. RNG is factored in. Okay. There you go. Well, thank you, Genie, for the education there. But I think if you have a level playing field, I think it sort of makes you feel better that you really, you know, you're beating someone genuinely and not because you got lucky with your RNG on that particular round. So this is sort of like the boss level area, right? So if you remember the underground with the glommers that you saw earlier, so at this point, if you make it up to the 4th environment, you have kind of a quasi boss level, which is more like a time kind of thing. So the idea is that the lava is rising constantly, and you have to keep progressing. So you see that the level is more spaced out, right? And you have to just keep jumping ahead of the rising lava. And one of the comments was because it's so spaced out like this, they weren't able to follow how they're supposed to get through it. It just seemed more like happenstance. So what I'm doing now is I'm taking this background tile layer, and I'm using it as sort of like a guiding path to sort of help you understand which is the best way to go through it. I've seen enough speedruns where RNG is a factor and saves them 10 seconds to 20 minutes depending on the game. Something to live with. You like this one the most so far? Yeah. It's a good thing, I think, because after playing 3 levels, hopefully you're comfortable with the jump, double jump concept, right? And you're used to the glommers and how to play. So the first time, it'll pretty much kick your butt. I've seen some videos of people playing it, and they go, whoa, this is different, you know, because it is sort of a gear change, right? Whereas before, you're playing at your own tempo, right? Of just the lava rising. In the expansion pack, how about that? And Triple Troubles 2, how about that? But yeah, I think having this, right, having this background path, if I can put it back to where I was before, let's see. Just do undos here. There you go. Put this back to 1.4, shuffle mode, and definitely put it in casual. There. So now I can test this level out. So each of the 16 worlds has basically 8 modular sections to it, which gets randomized every time. So it should mix things up for you. And then out of that, you can see I've built 24 different levels, right? So once again, the idea that it's going to constantly shuffle through it, so hopefully it doesn't look too familiar as you're playing it. Let me just jump straight ahead here. Let's go scenes. Let's go underground. Didn't change anything, so we'll come back here. And hopefully if I did this right, it should just show. There you go. Yeah, this is broken right here just because I hard-coded it, and that's kind of that's not a big deal. But what I'm looking at now is just the idea that this background path, and this is what I just added here in the last hour, helps guide you, right? So if you're kind of looking at this like, where do I go? And you go, oh, okay. So that hopefully, will help give you a sense of your direction. That's the goal there. So instead of being just a muddled mess of level stuff, it sort of like makes more sense of like following. And as I was mentioning earlier, is the fact that it's not the only way, right? So if you time this right, like that, you can actually kind of cut through it faster. That's sort of like the speedrun version, you know. If you're either a really skilled gamer or if you've played it like a million times like I have, well, you still screw up. There you go. So there you go. That's the finished level there. And then since I'm here, well, actually it won't work because I have it hard coded, so it's just gonna break it. But and then it goes into the canyon. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. And I'm sure Lucini's having a good laugh because I generally go just for a 1 hour stream, right? And then I just kind of head out the door and get back to work. But Lucini does everything in his power to try and like keep me busy, right? To keep me talking usually. So Lucini's having a good laugh that I'm past my 1 hour usual. All right. So, and this is when I was working on. There you go. Lucini, the cool one. All right. Oops. Let me make sure I'm on the right level. So I don't know if anyone's used Unity's tile map stuff yet. It's pretty good. There's a bit of a learning curve, and you will screw up. You'll draw stuff on the wrong layer all the time. I have not quite yet. I'm pretty content with it. Actually put a toss in there. There you go. Oh, you're missing an S. It's very case sensitive or very text sensitive. There it is. There you go. So so the funny thing about that is that it's now a tradition that actually she's not here. She's Mr. Q. Penny normally sits outside my door at 3 o'clock because she knows that I'm wrapping up. And she'll come and bug me because I go in the backyard, and that's my backyard, and I'll go back there and play it for real with her. No, she's not there yet, but yeah. So normally what happens, I'll finish my stream with having a little cameo from her. I'll just crack open the door and she'll come flying in. She likes to eat my face, as Lucini knows. I get attacked and slimed by her pretty much every episode. So, Creative Steve, so, wow, you must be doing something right. You have quite a few people checking your stream out, so give me some context. You're saying you're just getting back into it. Oops, that's not going to work. So is it something you've been doing before, or is that something like you're doing something else, or basically what I'm trying to pick your brain, trying to figure out how you've been, how you were able to build such a great audience, which I'm very envious of. That's fantastic. And part of it also doesn't help is the fact that I do only stream for an hour. Started streaming mostly playing old school games I haven't beaten quite yet, but now I'm planning on doing some game dev streams in the future. Awesome. Okay, that makes sense. I thought about doing that. I've streamed one time where I was playing, no, twice, where I was playing a game, and I don't know, I got so distracted that I ended up just not doing it again. And also, as Lucini will tell you, I basically don't have the time to, unfortunately, because I am a little on the overkill side and my workload. So I'm finishing this game up, right? I'm hoping to have this out in the next couple of months, barring any kind of terrible notes or issues, right? Any bug fixes, that kind of stuff. I've already started developing my next game, which is also based on a very famous intellectual property, sci-fi property. And that one will be actually a point-and-click adventure game. So I'm still working on that one while I'm still finishing up this one. And because, you know, I want to make sure I never have time to play video games, I still freelance doing animation work. And I'm doing that right now, well, at night, working on a TV show, which I can't really talk about yet. But once the show comes out, I'll mention what I was animating on that one. But are my favorite genre. Oh, sweet. Nice. Okay. Yeah, I love them too, man. I mean, my personal favorite all time, without a doubt, is Full Throttle, right? I just loved that game so much, man. I had the demo disc when it came out, which I still have in my closet somewhere. The demo disc, which had Full Throttle on one side and Dark Forces on the other. And my PC was so pathetic that I could literally only have one of the game demos installed at a time because the hard drive was just like nothing back then. So now I would like install one demo, play it like crazy, right? And then have to uninstall it so I can install the other game. But of course, when they came out, I bought them and played them like crazy. Have to be the Myst trilogy. Oh, okay, sweet. So have you played like the new ramped up versions of them? I know they actually have a VR version on the Quest now, I think, right? My wife was so kind as to get me a Quest for Christmas, which I absolutely love. But yeah, and that's another one too. That was just the Myst. When that first came out, it was just so revolutionary. It's just like, my God, how could graphics be that good, right? I haven't gotten the time yet to test it out. I sympathize. As I was just pointing out, you know, I'm definitely overwhelmed with all the stuff I'm doing right now. But the perk is I actually love the hell out of it, you know. I mean, I've been doing the game development, as I mentioned, for 10 years now. I started in 2008. Is an experiment just to see if I can make a video game. And just to give you context of how long ago this was. So, true story, by day, I was actually working as an animator, doing animated cutscene stuff for Halo 3, which I'm in the credits, believe it or not, a million years ago, right? So that's how long ago it was I first started playing with game development. And then it was 2 years worth of nights and weekends just hammering away, trying to learn how to program, learn how to make a game. And I released my first title in 2010. But, you know, and then produced more titles after that and had varying success. Basically, up to now, it's all been mobile games. To the first-person shooters, yeah. Well, it was a first-person? I thought it was just third-person, but yeah, that was a fun one to work on. I didn't work with Bungie directly. I worked for a visual effects company in Culver City that was contracted to do mainly just the cutscene stuff. Right, that was our bread and butter. But yeah, I'm listed. Actually, that's even on my IMDb page. I have that one listed on there. But I use that one just as a frame of reference, just because that people will kind of go, wait a second, that was like a million years ago. You know, You know, so if anyone's kind of asking like, well, how long have you been doing this stuff? You know, that's the simple way of going a long time. Yeah, and when I first started using the Unity engine, it was still just a Mac only tool, right? It was you had to use it in the editor was actually Mac based originally. I had the $150 introductory model back then when they just charged for it a million years ago. Oh, now there's a penny outside my door. She's 11 minutes late, but yep, she knows that it's time. All right, so I'll finish up this last one, and I may duck out on you guys, but yeah, Creative Steve, man, thank you so much. I've never come close to a raid that massive before. That is truly astonishing and completely freaky. Pleasure to meet you as well, man. Yeah, good luck. I'll reciprocate the follow and check out your stream. When do you normally stream? What are your times that you do it at? I'm gonna actually flush this out just a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, and I know that's one of the reasons why I don't really have a ton of people, because I was doing the stream before where I would do it for several hours, and I end up getting so chatty, as Lucchini knows, because Lucchini is a master at getting me chatty, that I found that it really wasn't getting much work done. So I've kind of curtailed it and done just this 1 hour thing 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So that way I can just kind of like say hello, show you the progress, right? Get chatty, but then not feel guilty about it afterwards, so I can still feel like I'm being productive. But I know that hurts in terms of viewership, because, you know, by the time people are ready to come around, I'm signing off, right? So that's not smart in the sense of how to get a big following, but it's still fun for the usuals. Once again, referencing Lucchini, that come around and get to talk to him and say hey from when he comes by. Basically random at the moment. Okay, trying to think of a good schedule. Yeah, that's a tricky thing too, depending on where you are in your part of the world. I'm coming to you live from a small little town known as Las Vegas, Nevada, the town that never sleeps. So I'm basically like, you know, west coast of the United States. So it's challenging to find a good time where if you go on that you're not like completely just swallowed up by all the other people that are doing it that have a much bigger following. You got burned out doing all month during January marathon 5 days a week. Holy crap. Excuse me, but you're getting your stamina back. That's awesome, man. Well, that's cool. So what kind of, if you're going to get back into the game dev stuff, what is your weapon of choice? See, here I go start chatting, right? I have more fun chatting than I do working. As you see, as I talked about, Unity owns me at this point. Unreal? Oh, sweet. Yeah, it's just, you know, because when I started doing this a decade ago, Unreal was still, you know, a, what, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 investment, right? Free was not an option back then. But, and so I reluctantly learned how to program in C# for Unity. So the idea of trying to like backpedal and learn C++ for Unreal, yeah, I'm too old and too stubborn to try and do that again. So I'm sticking with Unity. So then there's trade-offs. I mean, I've had this discussion before. I think Unreal is absolutely, if you want to make the most beautiful looking game out there, then Unreal, done, right? You automatically Unreal for sure. But if you were like a one-man band like this, then having the ability to buy plugins to fill in the gaps that, you know, and I have plenty of gaps in my development that expedite the process, I think is definitely a fantastic way to go, you know. But I think Unreal is a challenge on that. But you were saying you're coding, so you wouldn't just be relying just on Blueprint, but I guess you'd be doing actual coding. Be right back. Yep. You know what, Lucchini? I might be here. I might not, because I think I'm wrapping up. I'm starting to get chatty again, so it might be about that time to call it a day. But yeah, once again, Creative Steve, man, I cannot thank you enough for that raid, man. That was absolutely fantastic. That is so cool. Never anything close to that before. Yeah, so let me just finish up. Oh, let me see if I can get my links to work. I think I might have broken this. Oh, it did work that time. Sweet. All right. So just to give you a quick rundown, if you want, I appreciate all the follows on here. Absolutely appreciate those. And if you want to join me, I also have a Discord channel set up there. You can chat at me pretty much anytime you want. I'm available there. All these videos, because Twitch dumps them after a while, they get segued over onto YouTube. Closing time. Ricky, you're back just in time again, just to say goodbye. Yep, I'm afraid I'm winding down, buddy. And as I pointed out before, so please, if you're a Steam player, please feel free to head over to Steam. You can actually play Triple Troubles as you see it now, totally free. I don't know if you're familiar with Steam's new playtest, right? Which I love. I love Steam's new playtest. So it allows me to give you guys for free the full game up until the point where I release the full version, at which point the playtest comes down and the gamers that enjoy it will actually have an opportunity to buy the game. But in the meantime, it's not like beta keys where you're just giving out this stuff and you never have the opportunity to make money. And it's also not early access where everyone thinks that, yeah, I'd buy the game, but he may never finish it. I'm going to waste my money because, well, yeah, that never happens on Steam, right? So playtest, yeah, there you can see, there you go. You're just in time for the penny can. Like I said, I think half the people show up here just so they can see the penny cameo. So yeah, so the point was, if you're interested, please head over to Steam and feel free to give the game a try, totally free on playtest, and offer your feedback. Please do that, so I can make the game polished as possible. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up here, I think. But yeah, one more time, Creative Steve, thank you so much, man. And I think it is time for a penny cameo, so you can watch the real one, eat my face here, and then I will sign off. So hang tight. Let's see if she's ready. Here we go. Whoa, here it comes. No! There it is. Mm-hmm. She knows it's Frisbee time. Watch. Frisbee? She knows it's Frisbee. Frisbee time. Frisbee? I love it. This dog is so great. She acts like she hasn't seen me in like a week. And it was basically what? Like a little over an hour ago, right? Or she's just screaming at me going, it's Frisbee time. With that, shut up and let's go play, right? Yes, we're going to go play. Okay. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Have yourselves a fantastic weekend. I will do the same. I will be back on Monday. I broadcast Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 2 p.m. to 3-ish. Pacific Standard Time, which is 10 p.m. GMT. But that'll do it for me, guys. I'm going to go ahead and send the people that are still here, I'm going to send you guys over to Alex, who's working, hey, speaking of Creative Steve, he's working on an Unreal game. He's doing a VR game, and it's looking beautiful already. He's only been working on it a little while, but it's really pretty. So let me send you over to him, right? And you guys can see, his is a lot prettier than mine is, what I say. But until then, you guys have yourselves a fantastic weekend, and thanks again for hanging out with me. And I will see you guys next week. Adios.
"28 Ziggies shooting out for the 28 people that have joined today right now." Yeah, how was the stream? What are you working on today? Today we've been struggling with some stuff with splines. Trying to get a whole system where they're going to be able to like split up and join back up and stuff like that, and this sort of like cave system where eventually you're going to be able to fly through all of these, and it's going to all work wonderfully once it all works. As these things happen, you can do some, yeah, I can do some stuff if I like show. Let me just do one thing here. So cool. Thanks for the raid anyway. Enjoy playing with your dog. And yeah, we'll have a good stream. Well, thanks for the follow, Creative Steve. I appreciate that. Let's just add a little to-do. Because the to-dos always get fulfilled. Anyway. At this point we then... Oh, what's that notification going to be? It is... Hey, thanks for the follow. Medi9801. Appreciate that. Welcome to the stream. But yeah, so at this point I want to... so in this case I'm going to be updating the end point of my spline to be the same as the start point of the next spline. Which is basically this code but a bit different.
Together, we're a team. Together, we're a team. Together, we're a team. Together, we're a team. Together, we're a team.
Gary, I need heroin.